Show me what you got.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Grynd Time Podcast. I am your host, J-Ro. How's everybody doing? I'm doing great. This is episode number 2, y'all. And I want to take the time right now to thank everybody who shared and supported episode 1. You guys had great feedback on it, and I appreciate each and every single one of you motherfuckers. Before we get started, I would just like to say, my Titans are still in the fucking playoffs, baby! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to take a fucking miracle to beat Tom Brady this weekend, but hey. For a Titans fan, you don't understand here, I've been a Titans fan since literally fucking day one. Since they moved to Nashville, I've been a fucking fan. And I've been around for Steve McNair. I've been around for the 1 yard short Super Bowl. I've been around for it all. So a win like what they did last week is fucking dope. If you're listening in Ohio and you're hating on me right now and you're a Bengals fan or a Browns fan, hey, I got a dick for you to suck. Just saying. You can talk shit about my team if you're a Bengals fan, but hey, at least we didn't re-sign a coach that has been detrimental to your team for years. And if you're a Browns fan, hey, at least we didn't re-sign a coach that's 1-31. But let's get right to it. And my guest today, I'm excited about. This is a good friend of mine who, when you think of independent artists, you should think of him because he's been self-sustained his pretty much entire career and has been very successful with it. His name is Fisty Cuffs, and right now what we're going to do is I'm going to play you one of his tracks with Shaggy 2 Dope. It's called After School Special. Check it out.
Fisty Cuffs and Shaggy Clowns, you fuck with us, you get wasted. Question, who the fuck you think you fucking with? Like this beat, cut your throat, lay you out super quick. I am done with the bullshit. Put you in the ground on your grave, I spit. We in the future, I've been around since the past. Futuristic, you whack, you can kiss my ass. Pay homage to the big dogs on the block. You a pea shooter, I'm boom, shalak lock. Gunpowder up my nose, words raining on my mouth like bullets on these hoes. With both my middle fingers up in the air. Wish you would set trip on these colors I wear. Cause I am looking for a reason to leave you in the trunk, naked and bleeding. Shags 2DO, you know the rest though. To be the victim of my after school special.
Put your middle fingers up if you don't give a fuck. Put your middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you. Middle fingers up if you're gonna do you. I'ma do me, here's to the rest. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, here's to the rest. Fuck you.
I stab your throat so you can call me MJ. It'll be blood on the dance floor.
See, back in the day I didn't give a fuck. Now I'm all grown up and you can suck these nuts. Still don't give a fuck label execs. Fisty Cuffs got cash now, fuck respect. I define success, homeless to Trump. I don't need nobody's consent, I do what I want. I can smoke a blunt, I'm fucking high right now. Wash it down with some rum until I'm falling in the crowd. It's about to get loud, I'm about to get hype. I'm about to go and fight or fuck someone tonight. Maybe both I'm alright, I'm about that life. I'll take your ass outside, then you'll bitch in my ride. Underneath the limelight like fuck you though. And I keep the same mind frame everywhere I go. I only need 3 things for me to feel at home. That's sex, drugs, music, go. Put your middle fingers up if you don't give a fuck. Put your middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you. Middle fingers up if you're gonna do you. I'ma do me, here's to the rest. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, here's to the rest. Fuck you. Have you ever had your face fucked by the long digger? You.
Put them up,
Put your middle fingers up.
keep them up,
Keep your middle fingers up.
put them up,
Put them up, put them up.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Put them up,
Put your middle fingers up.
keep them up,
Keep your middle fingers up.
put them up,
Put them up, put them up.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Baby, just stop sweating what I do. Internet non-stop, shit talking to. Time to hang up that keyboard, get you a life at your house like Jay and Silent Bob with a knife.
I'm enough sick to bust clips and split bricks in two halves. Blood baths with dirt naps, no witness to fill gaps. No last for hoe acts, just fill clips for foes. See me throw 'em up.
That motherfucker's just too
Put
fast.
your middle fingers up if you don't give a fuck. Put your middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, let me hear you say fuck you. Middle fingers up if you gonna do you. I'ma do me, here's to the rest. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Middle fingers up, here's to the rest. Fuck you.
Somebody told me I use the word fuck too much. I'm like, fuck you.
So without any further ado, I would like to introduce to you my motherfucking friend, Fisty Cuffs. How the hell you doing, brother?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? No, there's no need to applaud. Everybody calm down.
I'm going to put an applaud sound effect there, I swear to God.
Yes. Okay, good. Because mine was probably lame.
So how's the weather out there, man? Because it sucks back on this side of the country.
Oh, my God. Moving to Arizona was the smartest thing I've ever done, homie. Like, I keep trying to throw hoodies and shit on because I love wearing hoodies.
Right.
It's like fucking the end of December, and I throw hoodies on, and then I start sweating, and I have to take them off, man. It's like steady beautiful out here.
Yeah, I know when we were out there, the last 2 times I've been through Phoenix, man, it's just been lovely, dude. And it's not like the heat out here where it's musty.
Yeah.
It's like just like dry heat. And I know a lot of people are out there like, oh, you're coming in the fall, so it doesn't feel as good. I don't give a fuck. It could be 120. If it ain't snowing, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I moved here. It was 110 every fucking day when we first got here. And, I mean, that felt better than 80 degrees in Kentucky because there's no humidity.
Right.
That humidity makes a big fucking difference, man.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't feel like you're walking around in the shower.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get started off, man. I've got a lot of questions for you, a lot of things I want to pick your brain on. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit to start off with about how you got started, because you're deep in the game, man. You're deeper than most people. How did you get going in the initial process of how you got started?
I actually started out playing guitar it was like a punk hardcore rock band type deal. The band was called Project Ghetto Creep. We did one show. I got arrested right after our set. I got into a fight, and the police like popped out of bushes and just straight up snatched me. Like within 10 seconds of the fight starting, it was pretty lame. And that was the last show we did. And so after that, I mean, I had a pretty good understanding that I sucked really bad at playing guitar. So I tried rapping because, I mean, let's admit it, pretty much anybody can do that. And I was pretty horrible at that too, but kept working on it. And eventually it worked out. I started back in 2000 rapping, and my rap group was called Project Ghetto Creep also because I thought that name was dope. So I stole it from the rock shit and then moved it over to the rap shit. And we did good, man. We blew up around our little hometown and surrounding cities and shit. And we made a lot of noise, made a lot of money, started doing big things. And then, you know, all good things come to an end. One thing led to another, different reasons. Members started dropping out, and eventually I became solo. Started all over.
All right. Now, how did you make the transition from just, you know, wanting to go into the rap game and then starting, you know, being a rapper, like you said, because you're right, everybody can do it, but you've had more success than most people. How did you get to a point to where, you know, you started talking with some bigger names?
Basically, I figured out everything that didn't work by doing it and it not working. And then there was nothing left but things that worked. So I kind of built my whole platform on failure. And then once I didn't have any failure left to absorb, I started making it somewhere. It's pretty much how that shit went down.
That's a real good analogy too. You made it work by failing.
Yeah.
I've never really thought of it that way, but I really like how you worded that.
There's a famous quote, man. I don't know how it goes or who it was from, but it's something along those lines about, you know, the key to success is failing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's got a list of like all the famous people in the world that have done incredible things, and all the people that told them they'd never be anything. Like one of them was Boys to Men. A record executive told them they should quit because they sucked. Another one was, I guess, when Oprah was trying to be a newscaster, I believe, they told her to quit because she doesn't have the face to be on television.
Oh wow!
Like, yeah, it's crazy. There's a big long list of them. Some about Einstein. His third grade teacher told him he was too stupid and needed to be in special classes. And I like looking at things like that.
Oh yeah.
Because because what you said, it's interesting to see, all these people that were for sure that you were going to fail, and these people turn around and make incredible things out of it, man. And it's a lot of people, like you said, they fail and they go, fuck it, it's not going to work. Well, what you did isn't going to work. Exactly what you said, man. Now, how did you get involved with? I know you're good friends with DJ Clay from Psychopathic Records. How did you get hooked up with him?
I bought onto a tour. That is how me and Clay. No, hold on. I booked Clay. I at one point was anything that I thought could make money with music, I was doing. So I wasn't just rapping. I was booking shows. I was trying to be the promoter of shows. I was buying on the shows. I was trying to any sound system, renting that shit out, like anything whatsoever that would make money with music I was doing. So me and Clay first met because I booked him for a show, 2 shows actually. It was one in Louisville, Kentucky, and then another one in Indianapolis. And they were pretty successful shows. One thing with me is another key to my success as far as like fucking with bigger names is I do legit business. I don't ever fuck anybody over. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's a big respect point when you're dealing with people, because a lot of artists or so-called artists, they don't have the business mind frame in the game. They look at the music and the music alone, and so much of this is literally business. And you got to understand that, like, when you're fucking with these bigger artists, this isn't just a thing for them that they have fun with, make money. This is their career. This is how they provide for their families. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they want to fuck with people that are serious on the business level. You know what I mean? So like when I did the 2 shows with Clay, like everything was perfect on my end. I didn't fuck up. I didn't have any excuses. I didn't, I forgot this. You know what I'm saying? Like I did everything that I agreed to do with the contract. And that's pretty rare. I didn't really realize that at the time, but that's pretty rare. Usually you get promoters, they do a show and there's always some shit that doesn't go through or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like 90% of them out there, unfortunately, are like that. A lot of them's from inexperience. A lot of them are just shady. You know what I mean? So, but like I didn't fuck around. So when I did those 2 shows with Clay, he recognized that, like, I want to keep fucking with this guy because he does good business and he doesn't bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So he had a tour coming up. What was it? Scratch the Surface, I think. He gave me a good deal to buy onto it. And then once again, we talked a little bit, but we weren't really tight at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so he gave me a good deal, and I took the chance. I jumped on. I was 100% on my own. I had an old shitty van that I tried to convert into like a hotel on wheels. I did the tour. I drove myself. I did everything myself. I didn't have anybody with me. No hype man, no merch man, no nothing. I slept in the van. I didn't get a hotel room, nothing like that. I was taking fucking baths with like baby wipes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, real ass shit, But never once did I go bitching to Clay or anybody else or whining about anything, blah, blah, blah. And once again, by the end of that tour, he had more respect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he's seen, even though I wasn't saying nothing, he's seen like, okay, this motherfucker is sleeping in parking lots and fucking driving himself and doing shows and driving himself. And you know what I'm saying? Like he's seen that shit and he recognized that. Like, cause like I said, people recognize good business.
Yeah. Especially Clay. Clay's really good on like, if you're about your business, he wants to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that about him more than most people.
Yeah. Clay Clay really does focus a lot on the business end. Like he, Clay, man. You sit there and you talk to him, man. And his brain's constantly turning. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's constantly trying to figure out some sort of formula for the next business move, and everything you say, like, kind of creates some sort of new business adventure. You know what I'm saying? Like he's really about that business shit, man. And that's why he does all kinds of shit. Like,
Yeah.
super talented guy. But a lot of people don't realize that this guy does everything, man. He isn't just a fucking DJ or just a fucking rap artist. Like, this dude got his own studio out there. He produces. Like, he does fucking anything you can imagine as far as like some big boy record label musician shit goes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it really come down to that. I bought onto that tour. That was my first national tour, and that was the last tour I ever bought onto. And I've been fortunate enough to get after that tour. Like, me and Clay started fucking with each other a lot more, and then we got on more of a personal level. And he obviously liked me as a person too, so we became homies. And yeah, man, I started touring like fucking crazy after that. Really.
Yeah, and that's what you said as far as, you book shows and you're about your business, and that's how you got the contacts. That is 100% to a T my story too. Like, that shows you. Let me go ahead and back up here. I did bring you through a tour, but that was like about 3 months into me promoting, and I was still getting my feet, in the water. So, and actually, the show that we had with you guys, I made some serious fuck ups on my end on that show. So I've always kind of felt bad about that. But at the same time, like, I was learning, you know what I mean? And once I really got, my feet in the door, and I had the people at Odd Bodies, and they were showing me the ropes and showing me the correct way to do things. Once Twisted and M&E came through, they want to come through now all the time. And we built those contacts through me booking shows with them at Odd Bodies. We're actually in talks right now about bringing them through again in the spring. This will be, I want to say, the fourth time Twisted has wanted to come through and play. And, that's definitely something that I'm proud of, is the fact that I can say I've got Twisted as a mainstay in Dayton, Ohio, But at the same time, that helped bring, that got Menace to Sobriety, our first tour. Doing good business with shows. They were able to see we were about our business, and we were able to go on the Spooktacular tour with them because of that. And, for all the people out there listening now that think that they could just be promoters and, do business however they want and it'll be the same outcome. It's not the case, man. If you do good business, a lot of opportunities will present themselves, and I think both me and you are proof of that.
Yeah, I think you can definitely relate with me on that. And a good example is you were talking about a show where you brought us through, and like I don't remember any like, there's always hiccups and stuff at shows, but I don't ever remember anything like bad as far as your end goes on any show. So that just shows you right there, like, you pay attention to detail, and you're your biggest critic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always feel like you can do better, because in your eyes, obviously, you felt like you could do better on some show that we did together. But in my eyes, I don't think you've ever done anything less than good. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think on the end of things, everybody that was there had a great time, but it was things that I thought I could do where I could do differently.
Is it the one with me and Light?
Yeah.
See, no, because like I remember that show, and the only thing that I think that really fucked it up was the sound guy.
Oh yeah, he fucked everything up, but he was notorious for that though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a perfect storm for me, because the venue itself was trying to establish themselves. Like, the place that we had that show in is legendary in this area. Like, back in the day, it was a spot for like blues artists and jazz artists. It was like, I want to say, like, between 1960 and 1990, it was the spot for live music. And then they shut down, and this person had bought it and was trying to reestablish itself. And the guy that bought it didn't really know what he was doing, so he had a bunch of half-asses in there that were really just there to make a paycheck, and didn't inform me of any of this. I figured it was an establishment when, I came in there and talked to them. And in my inexperience as a promoter, I thought, man, I'm just going to book this show with a bunch of homies, and, they're going to come through on their end on tickets, so I'm not going to require them, to do a certain number because they got my back. And I learned real fucking fast, just because they're, now I'm not trying to say anything negative about anybody that's on that show. because let's be honest here. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, here's tickets, sell what you can. I'm not going to require a minimum," I probably wouldn't put that much effort into it as well.
Yeah, you throw some Facebook posts up and do that a few times, and you sell what you sell, and you don't what you don't.
Yeah, and it was my inexperience as a promoter that made me think I can do it differently, and that's still one in my mind where like I've got a revenge factor there. Like, so I still want to set it right at one point in time. But, it was a learning experience, and I figured out real fast what I can and cannot do when it comes to these things.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes, though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fail to succeed.
Exactly. So you've done a couple tours with Clay. What are some of the more memorable ones you've done?
I don't know that. Like I said, that first tour obviously would be my most memorable one because it was my first tour. It was super rough, and so I had all the different emotions, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this sucks. I'm sleeping in my van. It's hot as fuck. I ain't even have AC in that motherfucker. But I'm out, doing a show for the first time, pushing myself out west. Cause like when I was in Project Ghetto Creep, man, we did a lot of shows, but we didn't do like tours. We actually, cause we started in 2000, there wasn't hardly anybody doing the rap shit back then, you know what I'm saying? Like on a serious level. So you didn't have like all the competition, which made it like super easy for us to blow our name up. And so we would do shows, sometimes it'd be like Friday, Saturday, but then come back home, you know what I mean? And we would do lots of spot shows, but I never did a tour, you know what I mean? So like, when you go on that first tour, you just have like so much hype feelings about it, you know what I mean? Like, wow, it's actually happening type deal, you know what I mean? And so like that's got to be my most memorable tour as far as any tour or Clay goes with, but for other reasons other than it being with Clay. Now Clay, shit, man, we've done so much stuff together since then. Like that dude's like my brother now, you know what I mean? Like I go over to his house sometimes just to go over to his house, or he'll come over to my crib. He was at my fucking wedding. You know what I mean? Like that's my brother. You know what I mean? So like we've done so much shit that it's hard to even recap on it all.
Now you were on the Shaggy solo tour when him and Violent J did opposite tours at the same videos at different dates. You were on that one. How did that one go?
Oh, that was fun too, man. That was pretty cool. That was another one where, I wasn't really on my own because I knew everybody that was, in the other van, but I had like my own van and my own shit going on. It was obviously on a whole different level because I'm not like struggling like I was, you know what I mean? So I had like comfy hotel rooms and shit like that every night. But yeah, I mean that was fun. It wasn't like nothing super spectacular because I was going out there like trying to take advantage of that situation. I'm on tour with Shaggy 2 Dope, and so my mind was on business. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I was pretty much just focused on doing that shit, and instead of like I didn't go out to the shows and drink every night or have fun or anything like that. Man, I was out there. I was promoting. Now we did have a couple of days off in Pensacola where I got top floor beachfront baller ass fucking hotel room and got trashed every night and that was fun. But yeah, for the most part, man, I was doing some business shit on that shit. You got an opportunity to go out with Shaggy 2 Dope. Got to, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, we touched on this a little bit earlier too, and this is something I was thinking about when we were talking about Clay and you were talking about doing good business. What are some things you think people fuck up on? Because like I feel like that's something on the last podcast that I did that people were real interested in kind of hearing like the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts. And you've done more than a hell of a lot of people. But where are some things that people fuck up on when it comes to putting your name out there? And like, once you start touring, what are the do's and don'ts when it comes to that shit?
That's a really good question. Not wearing condoms, having kids, getting a girlfriend. No, like seriously though, we're talking at like once you're on the tour phase, right?
Yeah, or even just getting your name out there. Because I mean, I see so many people out there, and I know you do too, where it's like, and I'm not trying to bash nobody here, You know, if this is you, do your own thing, but I think it's a little bit tacky. Like, if anybody else uses the word wicked in their fucking name, I'm going to snap. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I know exactly what you're saying. That's kind of starting out, though, because obviously if I was Psycho Cuffs or, you know what I'm saying, like something fucking super whack like that, like that's so played out, you know what I mean? Like, the name means a lot. You want to be original. And I thought so much about changing my name, but I didn't because it's juggalo enough, but not too juggalo. You know what I mean? Like, and then my homie Wetnap, like, he's juggalo enough, but not too you know what I'm saying? So it's not like Murderer Boy or some whack ass shit like that type thing. So you definitely want to pick the right name when you go with that shit. Personally, I think you shouldn't even pick your name. I think your name should be given to you in some way or somehow. But as far as music goes, when you're out on tour and shit, like some super do's and some super don'ts, no bullshit. Your girl really does mean a lot.
yes.
Like, I kind of do want to focus on this because I had a lot of bitches, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of motherfuckers that were like all about, like, you know, oh God, yeah, I will be everything you want me to be, blah 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 blah, you know, and they are, until they realize that, hey, this music shit ain't quite what I expected it to be. I'm not this fucking dope ass famous rapper dude's girlfriend, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden they are like little bitches, and they want to whine about, like, they want to hook up with you because you're Fisty Cuffs, but then they want to fucking whine about how you ain't pulling out all the fucking dollars that they thought they were going to get and be spoiled little bitches. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that really fucks with your mind. So you gotta like really, if you're a single dude, you doing this music shit, you gotta really fucking focus on what them bitches mean, because when you get a real bitch, that is when your shit changes. That is exactly when your shit changes, because when you got a female that will stand behind you, or a male, I guess, you know, equal rights, gay motherfuckers. But you got a partner that stands beside you that will fucking back you to the fullest. Shit fucking changes, man. It really does. And my best advice, if you a cat that is starting out or recently fresh, or you can't figure the shit out, get you a good fucking girl, because that makes the whole hell of a lot of difference right there. Like, that shit fucking will change your fucking life if you got the right bitch that's backing your ass.
Yeah, and there's people, like you say, just get caught up in the females. I know I'm not going to name drop here, and even if I wanted to, I can't remember her name. But when we were on the Spooktacular tour, there was one chick that showed up at like 3 different shows, and they weren't even close. Like, one was in fucking Worcester, Massachusetts, and then the other one was Oklahoma City. Like, the same fucking chick just showing up at random shows, like trying to get dick down and shit. I couldn't fucking believe it. And I was on the Psychomania tour with Twisted as their crew member, and I saw the same bitch in different places, like once at fucking Connecticut, and then another one on the other side of the country too. Like, I couldn't fucking believe it. Like, and you're absolutely right. Some of these chickens out here, they just fucking try to find any dick they can swing off of because they think it might be the next big thing. And it blew my fucking wig back that the same bitch was at so many different shows, and they were nowhere near each other. Like, just looking for some nuts to hang off of.
That's real fucking talk, homie. Like, I tell you what, man, I'm not even ashamed to say it. Like, I've had my heart broke by bitches like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a girl used me and think like she loves me and everything, and then I get to that next level, but next thing I know, she wants to fuck that homie and don't give 2 fucks about me, or me even knowing that she wants to fuck that homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that they'll use you just to get to that next level. So when you find that right one, you better hold the fuck on. You know what I mean?
Switching gears on this one, something I wanted to ask you about. I've actually wanted to ask you about it for a while. Where you're from? You're from Maysville, Kentucky, correct?
Kinda. Yes, yes and no. Maysville is the closest thing I had to home. Um, when I was born, my father was a Navy man, so before I was even a year old, we were moving to different places. I was born in Kentucky. I believe it was Camel County, Kentucky. Um, but like I said, before I was a year old, we were moving. The Navy, man, like I don't know how they get down these days, but they moved us constantly. We didn't stay in a state longer than 3 years my whole time growing up, and during that 3 years we would move, up to 10 fucking times, like no joke. So I seen the entire fucking country before I was like 10. You know what I mean? Like I lived in fucking Virginia, New York, all the way up to Maine and Rhode Island and shit, all the way to fucking California. You know what I mean? Like all before I was even 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I didn't really have a home, but now when my father retired, we moved to Maysville, Kentucky, and that was where I actually was able to make friends, really good friends. Most of them I'm still friends with today. I consider them brothers and family, and I've lived there the longest than anywhere else in my life, and so that's where I call home. You know what I mean?
And you've had now the reason why I brought it up was it seems like you in that city have had a lot of turmoil when it comes to you and the music. Would you say that?
Oh yeah.
Would you say yeah? Would you say that's correct? And if so, what is the turmoil about? Where did it start? And what are some of the things that you've had to fight against?
If you take what's going on with the Insane Clown Posse and the FBI and just drop it on a smaller level, it's that and so much more. Like I had everything thrown at me in that town, man. The FBI was on my ass. There's apparently a task force, the United States Gang Prevention Task Force, that was on my ass. We were considered, it was the 10-6 Click. We were considered a gang that was a threat to the United States because we were rapidly growing. Like I said, we started out in 2000, man, and like we dropped our debut album in 2002, and we really did start growing. But it was all about music, and the 10-6 Click was like our fan base. And 10-6 Click, it sounded gangy. I'm in Maysville, Kentucky is more of a older retirement slash, I don't know, it's a little bit of fucking everything for real, but the only thing it wasn't was acceptable of the type of music that I was doing. So it's like one of those kind of weird areas, man. And they looked at us as we were a threat, and we were a gang that was forming, that was going to eventually grow beyond their control. So they wanted to stop us before we got so big that they couldn't. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Like I said, I had every. If you name a fucking agency, man, I had every fucking agency known to man investigating me, like hitting up my homies and shit. Like, my peoples would get fucking just snatched up, basically. Not so much, in the physical form, but told like, hey, come with us, and thrown into a fucking room for investigation and questioning on mine and my homie Wetnap's behalf. Just trying to basically put the masterminds behind prison and give us fucking sentences and everything. And it obviously didn't work, so I'm still out here. But like, yeah, I've been investigated for everything, man. And murders that I didn't have nothing to do with, fucking fraud, you name it, man. There's been some sort of investigation for the shit. Yeah, just doing music, man. And but we had like a lot of little kids that, because it's a small enough town. I think our population was like 10,000 or around that 10,000 mark. So it's a big enough town to where you can make noise, but it's a small enough town to where it's still a small town. You know what I mean? And so like a lot of our crew would know what the fuck was going on and shit. And don't get me wrong, man. Like if we was a gang, we would have been dope as shit because we had like loyalty and like all that shit that gangs want. You know what I mean? Like our homies was tight. We didn't fuck around. So, but then you got the little kids that like in middle school and younger that like hear that gang shit and they want to be in a gang and they want to be hard and they want to be 10-6. And so they're out there like, yeah, I'm in that gang 10-6, you know what I'm saying? And that's doesn't help, obviously. I almost had a lawsuit with the school system out there because they were suspending people just for coming to school wearing my merchandise. So I was selling the shit out of merchandise. So I didn't want that to stop because that was like I was making good money on merchandise. That was keeping my shit going like easy. And in that town, that town was like my life support for music. And kids would go to school wearing my T-shirt, suspended. Not even turn your shit inside out. It was, at first it was you turn your shirt inside out or you're suspended. But then it was like if you come to school wearing anything that said Project Ghetto Creep, if you had anything that said Fisty Cuffs, if you had anything that said 10-6 click, suspended. If you came back again, your ass is expelled. You know what I'm saying? Like they really cracked down on that shit, man. And I wish I was smarter at that time to talk to the legal system and to press charges because there was a lot of kids that got fucked over really bad by that school system that just because they were supporting music and the freedom that we spoke about. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely insane. Like I'm sitting here with my hand on my head trying to understand. It just sounds like the government was reaching for something, but they didn't know what they were reaching for.
Yeah, man, it really is crazy. People tell me all the time that I should write a book, and I'm actually doing that now. I started writing a book just about everything because my whole travel is just fucking wild and crazy. Like there's just so much that I think I can share with people that just is interesting, worth reading, or that will teach, whether you're someone interested in doing music or you're someone that's interested in doing something to do with music. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I got a lot of knowledge over the years that a lot of people would find interesting. You know what I mean? So it's pretty fucked up, man. It's pretty fucking crazy too.
Yeah, that sounds insane. We're actually over the time limit here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. What's in store for Fisty Cuffs in 2018?
God, I hope a lot. This past year's been rough. I've been set back a lot in 2017. We kept a lot of shit alive. We kept the fundraisers and stuff going on with the 10-6 click. But as far as my personal situation goes, like I had a major issue that limited me to being able to produce more music and whatnot. I'm finally reestablished in a steady home, and that I plan as soon as fucking possible to rebuild a studio and everything and get that going. And as soon as that happens, man, I plan on putting out a lot of shit. I've got a project with a homie of mine that's going to be an underground hip hop / alternative rock style album. I've got a project with another homie that's going to be more of a kind of duet hip hop album. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all just waiting on me to get my feet back where they need to be so I can do my shit. You know what I'm saying? But like 2018, I hope I can start putting a lot of shit back out because 2017, I've been very held back on the music end anyway.
Yeah. Well, you seem like if anybody would bounce back, it'd be you. That's for sure. I mean, obviously, you're a go-getter, man. So I have all the faith in the world in you that you'll take that step that you need to take to get everything back on track and And I just want to take a minute here to say thanks to you as well. You've been a great mentor for me. Giving me advice that I've used and helped me out in certain situations that more than you know. So not only thank you for being on this with me, my man, but thank you for showing me some ropes. And I hope 2018 gives you everything you want, my man.
I appreciate you, homie. And I think the best advice I ever gave you was if you need to take a shit while you're on the road, go to a truck stop, go to a pilot truck stop, or if you can, go to a rest stop because they keep them shits clean.
Yeah, you were absolutely right. And I think you told me about Cracker Barrel too. We use that once or twice too.
Yeah, well, Cracker Barrel is one of the 4 places in the United States where you can sleep in the parking lot. You got Cracker Barrel, you got Walmart, but Walmart's being bitches, and they're starting to put up signs saying that you can't sleep in their parking lot in a lot of places, like especially major cities and shit. Something about people ODing in their parking lot and dying, and they don't want to catch lawsuits. But you got rest stops, you got Cracker Barrel, you got Walmart, and you got truck stops are the 4 places where you're legally allowed to sleep in your vehicle throughout the United States. But like I said, Walmart is kind of fucking lame anymore. And
yeah, and see, people don't realize this is, if you're listening right now and you're an aspiring artist that wants to go on tour, write this shit down. Like, you don't think that it's going to be that important. A clean toilet goes a long way.
Fuck yeah. Until your ass is on the road and you got to take a shit and you go into the wrong fucking place and you're like, oh my God. And yeah, let me tell you what, man, go to a rest stop. Rest stops, especially if you can go late at night, because late at night they're dead. Ain't nobody in that motherfucker. So if you got to blow some shit up, man, that you go in that motherfucker late at night, ain't nobody going to be in there. You're all good to go. Like I said, pilot truck stops, most of them are pretty well taken care of. Sometimes you get a shitty one. That's, it happens. But for the most part, pilot truck stops are pretty clean. And Flying J's and Loves. I can't really vouch for too much outside of that. But if you can go to a rest stop as late as possible, and you're good to go. If you got to go during the day, you go rest stop during the day, or truck stop, Pilots, Loves, or Flying J's.
Yeah, and I prefer Pilot over Loves, to be honest.
Yeah, Pilot in that order. Pilot Loves Flying, or Pilot, Flying J's, Loves in that order.
Yeah, I was about to say Flying J's usually pretty good. Everyone that I've went to for the most part. But every once in a while you'll catch one of those rink-a-dink ones with only about 20 pumps as opposed to 50, and fucking it's kind of crappy. But all right, my man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, bub. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, homie. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on this shit.
Once again, I want to send a special thank you to my boy Fisty Cuffs for being on this episode with me. Thank y'all for listening. And we're going to end this episode today with a track from Fisty Cuffs called Fade Away. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next time. Much love.
I don't even know how to put it in words. It's like my heart cried and got finally heard. Now I have a gift, a chance to reshape my world with a set of new minds. It's time I put aside the hurt. Hey buddy, don't do that, that doesn't work. That little army man's arms don't bend backwards. You do it anyway. I got a medic everything. I got a man you through the pain. Then you look at me in Maine. Let me fall into your collar and book and never wake up. This page is cold, let's hide until the day comes. Please stay awake, son, don't do this. I don't wanna miss a single second of this old bliss. I can't express all the joy and happiness you bring me. Another year passes too fast, my dream seems to never last, and time's grasp is loosening. No matter what though, it's you and me, we keep kings. Where did I go, and how can we get it all back? It passes suddenly. Sometimes it gets cold, but time don't freeze. Memories play as it fades away. You're older now when I'm truly afraid. You need daddy less and less every single day. And even though I'm proud, I can honestly say I wouldn't be a bit upset if it just never aged. What's a guy to do when you no longer want to play? The G.I. Joes and Play-Doh all get put away nowadays. Shit's radio and video games. Everything must change, I know, but damn it, it pains. I wanna hold on without a backup plan. I wanna find Father Thomas like a watch at his hand. I know it's hard to understand, and I'm just watching sand falling through the hourglass until my time's up. And you grow into your own man, and it won't be long then. You're gonna take some girl's hand, then it's just me and your mama all over again.
Where did I go, and how can we get it all back? It passes suddenly. Sometimes it gets cold, but time don't freeze. Memories play as it fades away.
Now listen up, son, cause this next part's important. This world can be a cold one, but a bold heart can warm it. And don't forget where you come from, cause when your roots are short and one wind and you're all done, your weight can't be supported. Life is full of hard times, respect ain't free, so don't expect to feel that sunshine until you know some rain. You're gonna know pain and you're gonna get beat down. You're gonna lose friends, but don't ever let your guard down. And when the dark clouds are all around and you feel lost, just follow your heart home and you can always feel love. And when the day comes, God calls and I'm gone, here's the most important thing: take care of your mom. That's where your eyes are from. We both owe her so much, but for now I have to go. So till next time, my son, just remember that I don't wanna wake up.
Where did I go, and how can we get it all back? It passes suddenly. Sometimes it gets cold, but time don't freeze. Memories play as it fades away. Where did I go? Get it all back. It passes suddenly. Sometimes it gets cold. Memories fade as life slips away.
I like what you got. Good job.